everybody. I had a request to channel Harry the Gnome, and it's been a very long time since I channeled Harry. I actually found the original video, and this is... There's Harry the Gnome, okay? That's the picture I drew of him, so you guys can get like a feel for what he looks like. He has a red hat, a yellow jacket, a big furry beard, okay? It's been years. It's been years since I think I only did one video with Harry. And Harry's name is, he actually asked that I could call him Charles, but I wasn't able to call him Charles because I named him Harry. So sorry, Charles, your name is Harry. Anyway, I'm going to relax and let's see what Harry has to share with all of us today, okay? And also, if you are interested in checking out that video, the original one I did, I'll put a link in the description. Okay. I kind of had a feeling this was going to be difficult. It's a difficult image, the first image that I'm looking at. It's a bit surprising to me. I just see Harry the Gnome, and I see he is in a prison cell. That's the image that is coming to me. And I see, this is very disturbing, but there's like blood that's just dripping down his face. And he shows me many gnomes in prison. And they're really stuffed tight. They're really stuffed into little prison cells. And he's saying several things. It's one thing is that he's never going to give up on love. He's never going to give up. Even if he's in a prison cell, he's never going to give up. He shows me that his time is fading. His time is fading. It's almost like maybe he isn't alive anymore. So when I see the image fade out, I'm just going to wait for a little bit here. See what other versions of Harry I can connect with. It's almost, kind of wonder if this is appropriate for a YouTube public, because this is kind of the type of information that I don't know that the human race can comprehend ideas like this, comprehend concepts like this, because the human race sees gnomes, and gnomes are always there, and gnomes are always going to be happy, and they're always going to be with us forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But there's reality too. There's a lot of reality, and reality is also suffering. Imagine suffering for fairies and gnomes. Why do you think there would be suffering for fairies and gnomes in the world today? Do you believe that they endure a sense of suffering? There's a really awful energy space, and there's really awful energy beings that they're very acidic and poisonous, and they're like really quick whips, and the whips have a poison in the whip. And so in this space where I'm looking for Harry, there's all this like poisonous energy here. And this kind of makes me wonder if there was a lot that I've had to go through to be the person that I am today. Not just even to start a YouTube channel, not just even to discover my talent for doing energy work for people and psychic ability. I look at these old videos and I didn't consider myself a psychic person. I was freaking crazy psychic. And so once I shifted away from the working world, the human world, I was introduced to being free, okay? My ego could not cope with that. A lot of people, you might hear that people who have spiritual awakening end up getting psychically attacked. I'm almost certain, probably 80% of the time, it's your ego attacking you, because we have been programmed so deeply ingrained into our being, like muscle memory, to be around the clock, okay? To go to school, right? Because education is important. It is important, right? And then you get a good job so that you can work now. So you're always dedicated to a certain chunk of time. And when you're free and you're working for yourself now, and your dedication to time is pure love. So now I have nothing but time to connect with people and share love and healing with people. My muscle memory, my program for my whole life was so freaked out by that I was attacking myself. I didn't feel that way. And I definitely translated it as something else because I wasn't journeying into it. It was too terrible. It was too horrible. And it felt like I was being energetically poisoned. I felt like I was being burned alive. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't eat. Like for an entire year in 2016 into 2017, I was in a lot of pain. And it taught me, though, the power of love, because I had to eventually learn how to overcome this, to face my fear. I had to understand what love is capable of doing, the difference between an energy world and how we translate this into our human bodies, into our human selves. We aren't always understanding. I found that after all that, because 2016 I really got cut off from all my energy friends, it really destroyed me in a lot of ways, and I struggled to sleep at night for a very long time, like several years, with post-traumatic stress. So I know what all this stuff is like. I can relate to a lot of people because I've been there, done that with just about anything messed up. I have 1,000,001 stories. Anyway, now that I'm seeing Harry in this way, it reminds me of 2016. And I found Star Guy, for instance, also I found him in a way trying to help me. And he was kind of a part of his own soul too, was in a messed up space kind of like this. So I'm wondering if part of Harry was trying to help me, and I don't know, but this really reminds me of 2016, and that's around the time I was doing a lot of these, with the markers. I was drawing a lot of pictures and connecting with a lot of beings, like new friends, making new friends all the time just by coloring on a piece of paper. I was connecting with different beings in the universe. It was like the marker and the paper was my portal, my doorway to making new friends in the universe. And seeing as I was a very lonely person and I didn't really have ability to talk about what it's like to be me and my weird experiences, I needed friends, right? So that was, having invisible friends really worked for me. Anyway, so let me get tuned back in here. I'm never convinced that what I see is like the end all. Harry may be sending me this message to teach us all something, to help us with our perspective of things. Or it could also be I'm picking up on aspects of Harry that are enduring a difficult experience. And I don't know if it's partially from me or what. But let's just see what we can discover here, okay? I see that I'm going, okay, so he is talking about me. It's like, this is gonna be hard. It was different. I hadn't talked to Reggie in a while, and when I got that inspiration, I felt bad that I hadn't talked to him, but it was just a vulnerability, like, but Harry I don't feel like, all right, he's showing me all of this in a way. It's like how he is seeing the human race, how he is seeing what I've been through. He's talking about my memories. So when he shows me in this place with the whips and the poison, and I was in this like very terrible dark shadow, and he shows me that he was there with me, and I was afraid that maybe he was going through it with me, but he was trying to help me through it. And I don't want that for any, I don't, it's like fine if I go through it. I don't want anybody else to go through something like that. It's just too messed up, you know? Especially my friends from the energy world. I don't know how these things can affect them. And I haven't asked them because I'm kind of too afraid of what they might say. Maybe it doesn't affect them at all. I don't know. I just don't want them to get hurt from me being hurt, you know? Because my energy makes sound, and I don't want... It's like being around a negative person all the time. It influences you. It affects you negatively. And it can affect souls, and it can affect loved ones that are near you, trying to help you through difficult times. I've seen this happen. And so I don't want that. So I choose to work through my issues myself, and I don't want any help, you know, because I don't want to hurt anybody trying to help me. It's hard because it's so loving. And he is showing me that it wasn't him that separated or had aspects of himself that were stuck. It was me that still has parts of me stuck. And he's still with a part of me that's still enduring the echoes of what took place. But these are definitely not very nice beings. This isn't my own ego in this space. So he's showing me another image. It's really hard to see it. So it's kind of like, should I even tell you guys? But I don't have any insides. Like, I'm kind of cored out in my torso, and I'm full of like really tiny like white, I don't know, like, I guess you could say maggots, but they're more like cockroaches. But they're all over inside of here, eating me alive, consuming me. And I just wait patiently to get through this, basically. And Harry's really glad because I'm choosing to see his presence now. I'm choosing to see this part of myself. Because the messed up thing about souls is they never die. So you can have an aspect of your soul in a place of torment for eternity. So in a way, hell does exist. But you won't feel it the same way. Like, when you're in an energy space, it's that time doesn't exist the same. So if you're there for 1,000,000 years or one day, you know, what's the difference? But you do change. Like, I have come across souls in like really, like 50 trillion years old spaces, and it's like they can feel extremely dried out. They can feel Like you can tell a space that is insanely old versus space that's like super old versus space that's not very old. Because you can just feel it in the air. You can just feel it in the energy that how this soul has endured such an extremely long time. They're also like ticks, like poisonous, like ticks with Lyme disease. Like, I don't know. I'm seeing ticks also as the insects on the inside. And Harry's just shining his light. He's really strong and sturdy. He can look at difficult things. It doesn't make him throw up to see blood either. He's making a joke. But he's kind of pointing at how people would be puking if they were to see this in our world. It would just like make people vomit, and he's tough, so he doesn't throw up when he sees things like this. This part of me doesn't know how to leave this place for some reason. I'm just kind of standing up, and I'm just like have a big hole inside of me. And Harry says that he can see in the dark, and just to hold his hand. And all these echoes start to dissolve, and all these like evil beings just disappear like they never really existed. It was all my own mind creating it. So it's really peculiar, but we're leaving this place, and we're basically just walking in place. And as we walk in place, we are somehow moving forward. The way you can tell is because there's a light coming towards us. We aren't actually walking towards it. We're choosing to walk out of this space, which is almost like a flat space. And there's dimensional light coming towards us. And it's like a doorway of light. It's a space of light. I mean, he's very serious for his personality, because Harry's very lighthearted. And there is a seriousness in his tone and demeanor. I tell him that I thought that maybe when I was going through that time, that maybe I'd hurt him somehow when I saw him in there. But he was showing me that he was with me. I was the one that I couldn't see with him. And he wants everybody to know that no matter how hard the experiences are you're going through, the gnomes are there with you. The sturdy, strong gnomes are there, and we've got the stomach for it. That says he's got the stomach for it, but we gnomes have the stomach for it. He's showing me, it's like, imagine how we feel thinking about these adorable little gnomes in a prison bleeding down their face. But it's us that need to learn how to set ourselves free. And it is serious. I mean, this is something serious. And the gnomes are here, seriously. They are here to help us. It's very disorienting just because I'm like returning. This part of me is returning to myself. So I'm feeling this part of me coming back to myself. So I am an energy being, and I have when I go through difficult times, aspects of me will be in places, dimensional spaces, millions, bajillions, trillions of just me. Okay? Now, how many versions of me, how many lives have I lived? Past, present, future. How many cycles of lifetimes? How many versions of each one of those lifetimes, those personas of my light, how many of them are stuck in trillions, bajillions of spaces in time? So you can't even fathom the number of souls that actually exist and the number of souls that are a part of your light. And so that part of my own light is returning to me. That's just one. I've collected myself so many times. I mean, there's parts of me that I need to be consciously aware of, even though I'm pulling the parts back. Always pulling the parts back so I can be more myself than I've ever been before. It's important we do this. I'm feeling really bright in my third eye and my crown. I'm feeling bright in my throat. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm like a star on top of a mountain. There's a light. So it's kind of like the pyramid with the eye on top, but it's like a mountain with a star on top. And the star is really bright. And Harry's introducing me to fresh air. Like the feeling and the experience of breathing fresh air from nature. Fresh air that's touched the trees and the grass and the weeds, everything that just grows around the trees, you know? It's like real natural air, real fresh air. It's very fresh air. And the sun has touched this air, the clouds, the air is connected to the planet and the sky. Like, this is really fresh air. Like, he's really, like, amping it up. This is fresh. This is the freshest air. Like, he's showing me it. The sun touched it. The trees, the branches, the leaves, the grass, the insects, the animals, like, have touched this air. Like, you're inhaling the spirit of so much living and breathing life here on earth. You're breathing this into your being. And this is refreshing. This is wonderful. This is healing, fresh air. Ask Harry if he's still in his body or if this is a part of his spirit. Because it feels more spiritual than physical. He says it doesn't matter because we're all physical and spiritual. We're all everything. I'm just waiting for a moment here. I didn't expect it to be a journey like this. I was thinking something different. I had something different in mind. So I'm just a little, I'm just like, durr. I don't know what to say, Harry. I don't even know what to say. Is there anything you want to say? Is there anything you want to share with us? It's literally about, I mean, he's really allowing me to feel myself and feel fresh air and feel healing light and feel friendship and feel love and feel that the physical and the spiritual is there all the time with you. And the gnomes are here to help us. The gnomes are here to help set us free. But we have to ask them, like we have to open ourselves up and say, Harry the Gnome, or Charles the Gnome, or whatever the gnome, like, or gnome, some gnome out there, help me with my own self-imprisonment. Because no matter what we do, it's almost like we're constantly trying to set ourselves free. Even when we think we're free, we have another part of our muscle memory or our programming that says, I'm afraid to know what that is. So I'm going to punish you until you go back to the way things were. Because change is hard, right? We got to continue to open the door, open the door, open the door. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Be honest about it. Say, I'm afraid of this. Say, I've been dealing with this pain for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of my life. How do I set myself free from this pain? Help me. Harry the Gnome, Reggie the African alien, help me. I mean, these are amazing soulmates of mine that are trying to share a message to introduce you to the love that is there for all of us. I mean, you should challenge yourself to just squeak it out. Reggie, are you really there? Harry the Gnome, just squeak it out of your system and then just say, I would like a hug, or I would like you to help me with this. They're there. They have infinite capacity. They have ability that is beyond what our human brains can process day after day after day, but our souls can do it. Beings from higher dimensions and alternate dimensions can do a lot more than we can do. We can ask them for help, you know? All right, that's what I have to share. Not what I expected. I hope you guys are okay with that message. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for just being here with me all these years. If any of you are interested in exploring a psychic session with me, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I have 2 other YouTube channels, so you can check me out at Abbey Psychic Services and Zodiac Energy Readings. And I'm also on Patreon at patreon.com/abbeynormalswisdomquest. All right, thank you all again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.